Hello, I'm Mirella.
And I'm Zoe.
Welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast.
This is part 2 of our Let's Talk Last Twilight special episode with our admin Kess.
If you haven't listened to part 1, go check it out.
And this is where we left off.
So let's do our top 5.
So who wants to go first with their 5th one?
I want to go first with my 6th one.
Oh, your honorable mentions. Okay, yep.
Honorable mention, yes, the dancing in episode 11. When the work is over, they have this after party, they're drinking and dancing. It's like a 10-second scene where they start dancing, and I'm obsessed with it because they're smiling and they're like the cutest. I cannot get over it. That's it.
I love the night that Day is drunk after the coach's going away party. And it's like this whole sequence from when Mork helps him take off his shirt, and Day just has the most vulnerable, or put on his shirt, actually, the most vulnerable, searching look. And then he's flashing back to thinking about Mork's arm around him during the photo taking, and just how well they painted the picture that he's starting to see Mork romantically, look at their touches and their interactions in a new light, and how it lays the groundwork for him trying to see Mork for the first time with the one palm distance gesture. I just thought his eyes in that scene were amazing. I feel like we're going to talk a lot about Mork's eyes. We already have, but that was a really good moment by C.
Yeah. So, okay, my I have 3 honorable mentions, so I'll be really quick. So the first one is episode 10, after Mork picks up Ron's car, and the whole bit where he drives to Day's house and they have the conversation, and he's waving to Day even though he knows Day can't see him. I love that scene so much. The not pity kiss, I feel like the kiss between them, where I feel like that's a really important scene, where they have their first kiss essentially. And then the scene where Day takes his steps to become Mork's boyfriend at the race, where he makes it his choice to cross the finish line, and basically accept Mork. Those are my honorable mentions. Okay, Morella, number 5. What is your number 5 favorite scene?
My number 5 is also Kess's number 5, the end of episode 4. The first time Day wants to see Mork.
Oh, that's her honorable mention.
Is that the honorable mention? Wasn't
Yeah,
that?
that's my honorable mention.
Okay, this is my...
how do you know what I have next?
I'm like, me too. Did you peek?
Right.
Did you peek at her notes?
This is my number 5. I like the music. I like the colors. I love that how delicate that moment is. Jimmy looks stunning. It was just a very, very cute moment, and it felt big.
I like that. I'm going to kind of cheat, which always makes Marilla mad, but 2 very similar moments where one is when they're cleaning the fish tank together, and Day tilts his head back, and you can see that he's enjoying having sun on his face for the first time in a year. And then similarly, when he's riding on the bike home with Mork, and he puts out his arms and is enjoying the, again, the sun on his face, the wind on his face, these little moments of him going out in the world again and enjoying these things that you don't need eyes to experience, I thought were just really beautifully filmed and shown in a subtle but moving way.
My number 5 one is the change room scene in episode 3, and also coincidentally I feel like it's tied to the fact the pink t-shirt and Mork wearing the pink t-shirt. So 2 kind of separate scenes, but both of those scenes I love the implications of the pink t-shirt, but the actual change room scene for me is I remember talking about it quite extensively, this whole there was a vibration to it, there was just a vibe. So number 4, Morella?
Number 4 for me is, I just disclaimer, for me my top moments are positive moments and are Mork Day moments. That was a conscious decision that I made in order to stay positive, and plus I just love them, and I think that's what I'm going to remember most from this series. So it's the end of episode 9, the moment with the last Twilight.
That's number 4 for you? Okay.
Yes. That's number 4. It could have been higher if not for the end of the series.
Okay. It's so interesting to me. I can't wait to see what number 1 is. All right.
Zoe, that's not on my list at all.
What, the end of number 9 isn't on your list?
Not at all.
Jeez, okay. I'm so confused. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is gonna seem so silly now, but I love the scene when Mark is helping Day get ready to go to the college and he's doing his hair for him. And Day's like basking in it while Mark styles it, and Mark's telling him like, damn, you're handsome or something like that. I don't know why, just like the 2 times he pets Day's hair, it just like radiates chemistry and is now like something that's going to be my diehard button in future shows. And so I adore that scene and refuse to not have it on my list.
Okay, for me, my 4 choice was the 1 palm distance while Mork is sleeping in episode 4, which I think was your episode, which I think was
Mine.
your 5th choice. Yeah. So
Mine
for me,
5th and Kess is 6th.
yeah. For me, I'm bumping it up the list. It's my part 4.
Number 3 for me is a scene in the bar and with the singing. I love that moment. I love the playfulness. I love the scene. Jimmy did a great job with the song. I love his interpretation even more than the original. I love the secret confession, the lead up to that with the song. I love the montage after when Day is hugging his friends and Mock's eyes while watching all that. I love watching characters realize that they're in love, which happens to him while he's singing this song. Like he accepts it. And also I love G. All of film's acting in the background to that scene is just golden. You just have to go and rewatch that scene and watch her every single moment. She's so entertaining and interesting to watch. She's amazing.
I love her. I had forgotten about the finish line scene, so I now need to add to my honorable mention that an honorable mention is P. Aeon and P. Pla's wedding, when she's giving that beautiful, beautiful speech and Mark looks a Day and then takes his hand under the table and he clearly sees themselves in the couple on stage and wants that to be their future. Is now my honorable mention. And I absolutely love the finish line scene of Day having to choose to be brave, choose to believe that Mark loved him for who he is, and wanting to make it very clear that he was meeting him as his boyfriend, like fully on his own merit. So I agree. That's a beautiful scene.
So what was your 3rd one though?
My 3rd was the finish line. You reminding me it existed.
Oh, okay.
The wedding speech. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, so for me, 3, I'm cheating. This is the first time I'm really cheating. I feel like, except for the honorable mentions, which I had many. I have 2. So I have the fish tank scene where
Why is everyone cheating? What, did you agree to cheat? Like, did you have a separate chat and no one announced it? No one let me know that it's possible? I
just feel like you would know because like I totally cheated in Dangerous Romance.
You know what? I'm just going to edit everything out. You're going to be even more honest than me.
Do you know what? They'll be like, we'll only have one option, and it's because Marilla's edited all the other ones out. She's like, I'm gonna pick which is your favorite moment. she reorders them into the order that she wants them to be.
It's a good idea.
So
nice.
So we all see the same, we all say the same thing at the same time. Okay, anyway. So my 3 are the fish tank moment where Mork gets a really good look for the first time where Day gets a really good look for the first time at Mork and Mork totally catches him. I love that moment. And of course the bridge scene. I feel like the bridge scene is just, it has to be in here. But for me, I couldn't put it any lower than part 3 because of the fact that I feel like it was like a dead moment in the water because of the way the show ended. But it's such an important scene and I love it. So I'm making it my dual 3rd option. Marilla, your second best?
Second best moment, the rooftop kiss scene. I love that scene so much. I love how everything leads up to that moment. I love...
You mean a no pity kiss?
No pity kiss, yes. Yeah. It's a very complex moment for the characters. It's not very easy to understand what's happening to them, but once you do, it's so rewarding, and like it's impossible not to get obsessed with this moment. I feel like I love every line. I love the acting. Mock holding Day's hand and Day telling him his story, or of how this is his place of hope, and like a new day is coming. I loved how it almost feels like it shouldn't work, because you don't want to kiss someone who is in distress. It feels like taking advantage of them, right? But it works because of who these characters are and the situation that they're in. It works
Like
perfectly.
we're the lead up to it. I would have to say
Yes.
too, if we were going to pick like one of our top favorite painful moments, then mine would definitely be the scene that leads up to this.
Yeah. Same.
As much as and Kess, I feel like you should appreciate this. As much as I hate August, I feel like that scene with the three of them is definitely one of the best scenes in the show.
But this actually makes this scene even better, because
It
somehow
does.
they turn it around.
It does.
And yeah. Like I remember in the state that I was in after watching the scene of August. It was rough.
This is why the No Pity Kiss was on my honorable mentions. But yeah, as I said, if we had picked, because I did the same thing, I mostly picked positive things. But if I was going to pick a negative one, it would have definitely been that scene where Mork like drops the, I don't know what number sunflower was it. There were so many abandoned sunflowers in this drama. I feel like they
Number
needed like
2.
one of those warnings, you know, like how you have the warnings. It's like no animals were hurt during the making of this show. You know, when like an animal dies during the show or something. No sunflowers were hurt during the making of this show. Anyway, Cass, what was your third? Was it no third? Are we third or second?
Second.
Second.
My second favorite is when, and I already referenced it earlier, when Mork and Day are standing side by side on the porch at night at Mork's house. And you know that Day has now asked about Mork's sister. He's tried to get to know him better. He's sharing such warm thoughts about the house. And I think being this really like raw, unguarded person with Mork, and this specifically this sequence where Mark puts his hand on the like banister, and then Dave puts his down, and Mark slides it closer, and their hands touch, and then the way they both smile, it's like such a beautiful moment. I think that's when Mark like really started to truly believe that they probably were going to end up dating, and that Day did return his feelings, and I just think that's the whole sequence of the house is really lovely, but that's the best moment to me.
Okay, so I'm going to go slightly darker with my number 2. And it's one of those scenes that it's like absolutely probably it is one of my favorites, but also it's also one of the scenes that frustrates me most about this show. And that is episode 2 PTSD freak out that Mork has. And the reason why I love it is because Jimmy did such an amazing job in this scene. And I remember watching it, and I remember having an absolute insane oh no, I knew what was about to happen. We knew his history and everything, but I have had clients with PTSD and stuff, and as soon as I saw, like, I was like, oh god, no. I just, yeah. And for me, like, the emotions it evoked, like his acting and everything invoked in me was just like, oh my god, it was amazing. I loved it. But I'm so frustrated by this scene because they just included this amazing scene and then did absolutely nothing with it. So, but yeah, it's my number 2.
So my number 1. My number 1
Can I
is
guess? Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Is it the pool confession scene?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have no idea then. Please continue.
It is the memorial bridge scene from episode 5.
Okay, so the bridge scene, yep.
Yes, this is my favorite scene, and I choose to see it separately, to like not integrated in this. I know it leads nowhere, but I feel like it was done so beautifully. I just cannot but put it on in the first place, because the music is amazing. Every single shot is like a masterpiece. Mock's eyes, all the touching, the way he talks today, the way they're playful, him saying this leads to me, and they getting close to him, the colors, the location, and everything that we see there, the chemistry between the characters, the flow of this scene is just so beautiful. this scene is amazing. I'm obsessed with all the gifts that were made for this scene, and I think this is a scene that I rewatched most.
That's a really good one. Mine is the beach scene in episode 8. I think you both remember I cried for a solid hour straight after it. The whole sequence of and also this is a moment that to me a little bit like the emotional resonance was lost later, but the sequence of Day walking up to the edge of the ocean, once again basking in the sunlight, listening to the waves, them going and playing in the ocean together, and then him giving this speech to Mark, like, the sun is the same, the sand is the same, the water is the same. Some things you don't need eyes to see. And Mark saying, like my feelings right now. And then Day reaching out and feeling his face and asking, are you smiling? Which then cues the beautiful mountain scene. And Day being the one to initiate the kiss. It is like beautifully filmed. I love the emphasis on nature and how healing nature is and like how awe-inspiring it is, even if you can't see it. That scene is so special to me, and I will never stop thinking about it. It actually is more impactful to me than the last Twilight Mountain scene.
Very beautiful scene.
Okay, I also do love that scene too, but I'm sorry, I would have to argue about that because my number one is the episode 9 last Twilight scene. Like I love this scene for so many reasons. I think it's so beautiful. Once again, the way they shot this entire scene, the way like Day was able to paint such a beautiful picture, and Mork was be able to almost see, I guess, through Day's eyes, you know, like what he was imagining, and just this whole the whole last Twilight bit basically, where the fact that it's such a like it's frustrating to me because once again this to me seemed like a really healing moment for him. I felt like he let go of all of his anger, because this is the other thing, he had anger issues. Mork had major anger issues in the beginning of this story, and I mean it's how he ended up in prison, and like none of that was really addressed either. But I feel like this scene was like, how could you feel so mad? I feel like he's just let go of so much in this scene, and you see it, you feel it. And I was also so not bemused, but bemuddled by like how confused people seemed to be about the message in this, because to me it seemed so clear like what it was. Like people were like, oh no, he's crying because he's blind. It's like, well no, he's not. Those are tears of someone who's just seen something really beautiful, or something really beautiful has happened to him. It's like a juxtaposition of what's actually going on, because it shouldn't be a beautiful moment, but it's this beautiful moment between the two of them. The fact that Day is like losing his eyesight it's horrible, it's tragic, but that's like not at all what this is. This is a scene about beauty, and a scene about, like, once again, even though he's going blind, it's really a hopeful moment. And it's just, I don't know, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought their acting was insane in this scene. Both of them were just like absolutely killed it, I feel like.
That scene made me cry so much. I cried so much.
Seriously.
And I can't remember. Like, it was so funny. I was retelling the next day. I was on a ride, like 16 hours ride in a car. And every time I remembered the scene, I kept crying again. At some point, I started retelling someone the scene. And like I was talking and I just started sobbing while talking because I remembered it. It was too much. Like I couldn't get over it. So yeah.
Well, I feel like it's like one of those things where
it's just a pity that the moment does not feel as impactful now, because
yes, I think that's where I was going. Something about that, yeah. Because it's not even
because
so much...
right after that, it was just, I felt like that was the most beautiful thing that I saw.
I feel confident in saying that is, to me, one of the most impactful scenes that I think I've seen, especially in like a BL or something. Not just in BL, but like in a lot of different TV shows as well. Like I will never forget that scene.
So let's get to favorite episode. Which episode did you like most?
So for me, obviously, it was episode 9, and in brackets I've got the true ending. Like I feel like there are certain shows, we've all got one of those shows where like we absolutely loved the entire show, until like either the last season, the last few episodes, the last episode, the last 10 minutes of the episode, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
like, so we've made this, like, we make this consecutive decision to like, okay, I love this show too much to let it go, so I'm just gonna pretend that season doesn't exist. So I did it with Curious
Mhm.
Folk. Like season 5, as far as I'm concerned, of Curious Folk does not exist. And there's a couple of other shows that I've got that are a bit like that. Morella, I know that you have strong feelings about the way Game of Thrones ended, but like
I
feel like
cannot. I can't watch. I cannot rewatch Game of Thrones. After it ended, I've never been able to watch it.
they ruined it for you completely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other
Although
thing.
I do have one that How I Met Your Mother ended, very weird way, but I came back to it. Kess?
You guys talked me into a different favorite episode than what I would have originally said. So thank you. I actually think my favorite episode is episode 6. I think it is so much fun. Sorry, you're both gonna I'm obsessed with every moment of August being this like perfect on paper, like romantic partner. And every time he like holds Day's hand or says something today about how he doesn't want another partner, and you have Mork like watching sadly in the background. It's so good. But then you have this also plot point where Day clearly actually wants Mork and thinks Mork has like asked him on a date and is letting Mork do his hair while he like kicks his feet happily. And it's like these really interesting character explorations that are happening of Day seeing this thing he thought he always wanted, us hearing from August that Day is happier now with Mork. But the way it all culminates in him having what he thinks is his worst nightmare happening and someone pitying him, but then actually getting this like incredibly beautiful kiss with Mork. It's just like such both a really funny episode and sad, and has this amazing romantic moment. So I think it kind of just has it all for me, and is my best all around.
It's so funny to hear you say that, especially like about has this really romantic bit of the, because I remember when you watched that episode the first time, you were like, I don't know, I don't get it. Why did you really like this? But I feel like the more you traveled into Mork best boy, Jimmy best boy, I feel like you maybe trumbled into that. But it is a beautiful episode.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I hate August, as much as I like knives emoji August, so much so that Kess has been sending like August messages in our chat, and I keep sending unacceptable emoji stickers in response. I remember
I did not see a fucking spoon.
There was a spoon. Oh, yeah. Everyone needs to know that Morella and Zoe were wrong, and there was a spoon on the cake plate. August did not just bring a piece of cake and expect Mark to eat it with his hands. August is a good boy.
Was that a thing? Was that a thing we talked about? Because I don't remember that.
We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, I was salted because there was no spoon.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to get to your favorite episode, Morella, and then I did actually remember what I was going to say. So if you want to do that, and then I'll ask.
You can go. You can say, and then I'll go on because
Okay.
I have trouble.
So the question that I have, because I'm curious, because I know, Kess, you watched how many episodes, and then did you started doing a rewatch, didn't you?
I watched through 11, and then I did a full rewatch.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, Morella, how many times have you watched Last Twilight?
I don't know.
So I feel like I should, because I'm very loud and have lots of opinions, but I feel like I should preference that all with the fact that I have literally only watched every episode from this show one time. Because we were talking about things just before about whether or not, would you rewatch, like you said you can't watch Game of Thrones anymore because they ruined it for you and stuff like that. I don't know with this show, like, whether I'll ever rewatch it again. I feel like that's a really sad thing to say. Actually, saying that makes me, now that I've just said it, I feel really sad about it. So I feel like I'm probably definitely going to watch it. I did see the post, like the DVD, like GMM, the DVD's for sale post the other day. And I got sad when I saw that, because normally I'm like, I must buy it. Like, as soon as the Dangerous Romance one came up, I was like, where's my credit card? But I felt really sad because I had no desire to purchase it. But I was like, but you might want to watch it again. And I was like, can I buy a version with only like 11 episodes? But yeah, so I don't know. For me, the main reason is I like my full intention before we did this, because we've been talking about this, Let's Talk Last Twilight now for, I don't know, several weeks, way before episode 12 came to be a thing. And my full intention was to do a complete rewatch and whatever. We did it a little bit differently. If some of you have been listening to our Cooking Crush podcast as well, that I watched like at least twice each episode so far. Some of them I've watched a little bit more than that, because we watch it like when it's on, and then we've been watching it again during the week before we actually talk about it. Whereas with Last Twilight, we were doing more of a reaction, so I was watching it, and then my world has been a bit crazy, so I haven't had time to watch it again. And it was my intention to rewatch, but when we had episode 12 happen, I was like, what did I say to you, Morella, yesterday? Was it today? I'm so afraid of going and trying to rewatch it and just getting really angry again, because I was really angry when we finished watching episode 12, and I don't know if that was communicated in our podcast or not. I was upset, but I was also
this is what happened to me, because I'm rewatching it with my friend.
Yeah,
and like I saw episode 12, and now I'm rewatching it with one of my friends, and I'm just so angry.
We're getting the most amazing bitter Morella messages ever. They are awesome. But yeah, I was so afraid I was going to be the same, and I think I literally said, I'm a little bit worried, because at this point, Kess, you hadn't seen episode 12 yet, and you're going, I'm just going to watch it just before we do the Let's Talk Last Twilight podcast, and we're going, no, don't do it. I half expected, when I saw your messages in the chat this morning, I half expected you to be like, I can't do it anymore, I can't come on. Because they were quite dramatic, and I was like, I was so worried about it. And then,
but she did not watch the last part. She did not watch the last part of episode 4.
I technically didn't.
I mean, episode 12.
I watched like the bare minimum of 3.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm like, maybe it's good that you didn't watch the last part, because I feel like doing that like on the day before recording this podcast, or on the day of recording the podcast, not a good idea.
Yeah, because we were shocked. We were really, I feel like you could tell, but I got more bitter as time went on, and then I got relaxed about it, because my focus changed into what I thought was good storytelling and what I didn't like, and things like that. My issues with it kind of settled down, but I was so afraid that on doing a rewatch, I would get really, really angry, and I would start to see things that I hadn't seen before, because maybe I'd had rose-colored glasses on or whatever, and I really wanted to remember certain parts and certain scenes the way I had seen them originally, because they had meant so much to me. And I most definitely got to the point where I was like, I do not want to rewatch it before we do this podcast, in case like my top 5 favorite episodes suddenly become like I have one or something, so I was really, really worried about it. But I feel like me saying I may never watch it, actually, as I said, just made me really sad just before. So it'll be a long time though. I think it'll be a while, and I probably won't watch past episode 10.
I had 3 episodes that I
for your favorites. Now who's cheating?
I told you before we even started, you were the ones who didn't have that top 5. Okay. And I cut 2 episodes out. So look what I'm doing for you. So my number 3 is episode 2. I like how they set the whole thing up in episode 2. The characters, the relationships, the way they change and influence each other. It explains who they are, lets us know how they react to certain situations, and how they view the world. And it's the episode that we fell in love with Mock. And plus it has hidden gems, like, for example, the moment when Mock explores Day's room. Certain scenes that feel really interesting, like look very interesting to me. Number 2 is episode 3, because they start bonding, they're being brave together, they explore and navigate this world that they feel like they don't belong to, really. anymore. Together, they starts adjusting to his life as a blind person, and it's just very interesting to watch it. It feels helpful and hopeful and inspiring, and this is a moment, the episode where Mock's reputation starts changing, and also has the moment with changing in the changing room, the moment at the end when they decide to look at him. I mean, that happens in episode 2. And then the moment we find out, I mean, Cass, you asked me what is my Thai expression, I think, that I like most. Yes, and this is what settled it. I just fell in love with this moment. And my number one, can you guess? I feel like the two of you could guess it.
Is that episode 4? You always love an episode 4 because it's when they fall in love.
It is episode 4.
I'm
Yes,
just like,
it's always.
I'm like, I'm so bad at guessing. So I was just waiting. I'm like the kid in in the test where they're like, just mark your answers when we tell them, and I'm sitting there and I haven't actually filled in the question yet. I'm waiting for everyone else to tell me what the answer is.
Yeah, so I just love episodes where they fall in love, about realizing where they realize their feelings. It's an episode that I actually fell in love with this show. That I really got attached to it, and I thought, wow, this is really good. This is something that is going to stay with me. So the moment where this is this is the episode where Mock opens up. G appears in Day's life. Day taking steps on his own accord, and from his own initiative to do something with his life. Mock being protective with Prajai, and the last part, of course, part 4 is just, you know how much I talked about that part, and how much I listened to that song, and how just amazing I think it is. So what they're all of them, they're episodes from the beginning, and I feel like they hold their own, even no matter where the story goes later, they feel like they're complete and full, and nothing that happens later messes with these episodes, because they're really about them getting to know each other, and about they learning to adjust. And I can rewatch these episodes and not really feel like I'm being led somewhere that the story doesn't go. They're really well thought episodes. The ending did not ruin them for me.
When I told you, when I rewatched, actually a lot of the moments in those first like 1 through 6 before they get together actually have more emotional weight for me. Like I cried at new moments because like I could really feel how much Mork loved Day, especially in like the changing room scene, the hand massage scene, different moments. Like you can feel the power of their like attraction to each other and their building relationship.
Yes, it was done very well. So let's talk about the most devastating inanimate
objects.
Okay, you say it.
And
Go
other
ahead.
symbols. So yeah, devastating inanimate objects and other symbols. I have like some of mine. I feel like are not necessarily symbols or inanimate objects. They're things. But I feel like we need to mention, like, obviously there's some obvious ones. There's the jasmine, which to me I feel like if you listen to our Dangerous Romance podcast, they had a very clear comfort zone, like this almost like this bubble that surrounded them. And I think, Morella, you mentioned earlier, they didn't really have like a specific place or like whatever. They were seeking new lessons, new experiences, or whatever. But there's one thing that was fairly consistent throughout, and they did actually even include it in episode 12, was the jasmine. And it was this thing between them that was instantly recognizable to Day. It calmed him down, it relaxed him, and the fact that Mork planted that in his garden was telling us the story that he wanted that to be their home. He wanted to make a home, make his home a safe place, a safe space for Day to come and spend time in. So I love the Jasmine. I thought that was such a beautiful side of the story. We have the fish slippers, which break my heart every time I think about them. And I think about it, like, there's two fish slippers, Little Day and Big Mork, and there's one I think has a band-aid on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like Mork gave him these to help him leave his room. So like I feel like these were really symbolic of like Mork supporting him. But like Day needs to leave the room too. Like he needs to do the work for it to actually be a thing. But the symbolism to me in that, which I felt was a little bit lost towards the end of the show, was that for them to work, they needed to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so they're fish. What else did I have here? Oh, books. We know books were a big thing. Well, at least we thought books were a big thing
Mm-hmm.
in this show, which is another thing that frustrated me because we had such good representation and the book choices were really good. The Little Prince, the last Twilight book was really good, and then we had this like offshoot that he had written a book which it had so much potential for plot and like story resolution and things like that, and yet they did nothing with it, which was really disappointing. And then I feel like, okay, I have the sunflower in, and I've got it in all caps. Never ever successfully given today. Cass, you mentioned the other day in a message to us that sunflowers mean I only have eyes for you or something like that. And looking, I think there was some messages. I think there was some meanings given in the show as well. But I was like, Mork was like, like that really did coincide with everything that Mork did and did for Day and with Day. It was all about trying to give him his sight back, and I'm using air quotations here because I obviously don't mean his actual sight. I'm not standing here suggesting that he's standing there going, holding out his eyes and being like, here, have mine. But like he was just trying to give him insight and a new view on life. He's trying so hard to make things okay, like with the way the world was for them at that moment in that time. And I mean, we know if he could have given Day his eyes and like the world, he totally would have. But those were probably the big, like, I guess, actual objects. But there was also like cooking. Cooking for me, like, while it wasn't a symbol necessarily or an inanimate object, I feel like it was a big theme because it ran through the mother's storyline. It runs through his storyline. We see the parallels between those two characters. Cooking is a part of that, but also it's almost like we see the connection. There's a connection from Mork's trauma with his sister through cooking, and then this desire to provide food today is shown there as well. It's almost like cooking is his love language, you know.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing that I think about is like the car, obviously, like the car. And I feel like this idea of band-aids, because we had the band-aids, we had the band-aid on the car, we had the band-aid on the slippers. I feel like there was another band-aid, but maybe I'm imagining that. And I just feel like
He had a band-aid after the fight with Vajay's boyfriend
I
on
feel
his
like
forehead.
this is like a huge metaphor for actually how the show ended up, because basically
Mm-hmm.
they put a band-aid, they slapped a band-aid on it by giving him his eyesight back, and then it was like hoping for the best. And with Mork, like I feel like he mentioned how he kept talking about how he kept telling his sister to get the car fixed, but she just put a band-aid on it, like she
Actually, I thought about it, and to me, the band-aid thing feels like this whole series, their whole journey together was a band-aid. Like, it was kind of fixing things for Day. He was feeling better, but in the end, they just, with the car, it didn't have the band-aid anymore. It was perfect again, you know? So he got his eyesight back. He was the car without the band-aid, and like he didn't need the band-aid anymore.
It's interesting that you
Like,
say that, because the other thing that I was going to say was like Mork told, I think Day or the auto mechanic guy, I can't remember, about how he told, I think it was the auto mechanic guy, about how he kept telling his sister that she needed to get the car fixed, and then she just put the band-aid on it. And it's interesting that he tells this story where he was like telling her to do this thing, and then you mentioned that the storyline was like a band-aid had almost been put on Day kind of thing. But I feel like Mork didn't do that to himself. He never put a band-aid on. He just kept hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
So anyway, on that
Actually, the way I saw it is that he was not dealing with the wound. He left it bleeding, and he only put a band-aid on it because, like, I don't need it to be, fixed. I don't need it to. It doesn't need more attention.
Yeah.
So the band-aid is kind of confusing. The whole thing that they did with the
I
band-aid.
don't know that they necessarily. Yeah, I don't see a band-aid on him, but I definitely see band-aids in connection with Day for sure.
He had a band-aid, in episode 4 when after he
had the fight
fought with Rajai's girlfriend or boyfriend. I wish. And
it was so funny. When you say that, I'm so laughing about like our misconceptions from the beginning of this series. How we were so sure that her and G were going to be a thing.
Yeah, and so she asked him, "Do you want me to help you with that?" And he's like, "I don't need anything. I'll just put a band-aid," which he does, and then he goes to the bar.
Yeah, true. Okay, all right, ladies. What are your most interesting symbols and things, and why?
Kess?
I have 2 things to add on things Zoe said, and then I have my own that I know is not on either of your lists. So one, I had the realization while you were talking.
August is not an inanimate object.
He is via the symbol I'm choosing. The jasmine, I had a realization while you were talking that it's actually really cleverly used, because you said over and over again in the podcast that you wished if Day could only see Mork's face, he would understand how much Mork loved him. But the jasmine is a scent representation of how much Mork loves him. I think that's actually how the jasmine is used, and it makes me love the jasmine even more, because it's all these moments that Mork is saying, like, here, look, like, I picked this for you, I put it in a bowl for you, I planted it for you. So I got very emotional thinking about the jasmine. And then
it's lovely.
I just want to reiterate what a miss the sunflower was. Like, thinking about sitting in Let's Talk Dangerous Romance, having had the umbrella that we had been talking about over and over again actually be given back to Kang and explained to Kang was such a brilliant move, and really carried the use of that symbol throughout the whole show. And I feel like they most dropped the ball on that with the sunflower not being given. So I want to echo that. But the symbol I actually think was best used was the 2 headbands. I really
Marilla, did you hear something?
I do have it in my list.
Oh, that's it. You're both dead to me. No, please continue.
I actually really, for those of you who don't know, like, we've been joking about it a lot. I listened to Marilla and Zoe for 9 episodes before I actually watched. And if you're a longtime listener, you know how especially Zoe feels about August. And I went in prepared to hate August. And instead, I love August. I will defend August so much.
I'm about to open another drink because I feel like I'm going to need alcohol for this. So that's what that noise was. All right, keep going.
And like, so him first giving Day back his own headband, and then that headband later being used when Day starts running again as a tool to help him run, is a nice carry through of like, Day as an athlete doesn't have to stop. And similarly, Day giving August back his headband and saying, you should keep playing without me, you should be your own player, is a nice way that that's used. And then finally, the way that they clearly have it be wrong for August to be putting his headband on Day, trying to claim ownership of him. I just think they used the headbands very cleverly in lots of different ways. And so to me, that was the best symbol of the show, actually, in full carry through. So I love the headbands.
The best? I object.
What other symbol actually got got used to its full extent and never had confusing uses that never got picked back up again. Like it's maybe the neatest symbol.
I think that Jasmine did that. I don't think it was, as I said, followed through to episode 12.
Another symbol that you guys didn't talk about, I was the sneakers, Days old sneakers, but I'm not going to talk
I forgot about the
about it.
sneakers.
I'm not going to talk about it. My number one, neither of you mentioned, and it's something that it's only brought up once, but the way it is used, I love it so much, and I'm going to tell you the lines that a character says when this symbol is being brought up, and I'm pretty sure you'll know what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to read the lines. If you want to keep it, handle it with care, so when you pick it up to look at it, it won't cut your fingers.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
Yes, this is my symbol. Number one, the picture in the frame that was broken. The frame, the picture has August and Day on it, but it doesn't really matter. I just love the way Mock speaks about it. It's the picture, and the broken glass represents memories or relationships with people. Handle them with care. So when you look back at it, when you remember it, when you think about it, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't cut your fingers. You have no regrets.
Yeah, that's very eloquent and pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So then we need to talk about our favorite characters. I mean, number one must be the same for everyone, right? Because, you know.
Oh, no, Kess was saying that her favorite character was someone different.
No, it cannot be August. She loves him, but
it's Mark. I mean, it's Mark, but I
it's
want to
Mork.
talk about other characters who are not Mark.
Oh yeah, like I feel like that's the thing. I feel like Mork is very much my favorite character. But yeah, I didn't actually know that we were going to talk about that. I actually was like, I thought we were talking about like best character side moment. That's what I've got.
Well, I just want to say that Mork became one of my favorite characters ever in television, television, books, and movies and everything.
Yeah,
She's just one of the best. I just don't include episode 12 in this. I pretend it doesn't exist.
Well, the only way I can accept his character in episode 12 is that he's in complete like mental break.
Yeah.
Because him accepting like responsibility and the way he basically is chasing. Okay, so all right, hang on. Let's go. I'm just going to quickly flick back for a second to we were talking about trauma, we were talking about messages and all the rest of it, and why it was acceptable either in the storyline or whatever for Day to break up with him and send him away. In no universe, in no world is it acceptable for him to block Mork for 3 years. This is something you do to somebody who treats you horrendously, like, and you're too lazy or you don't have enough evidence to get a restraining order. You don't block someone who only ever loved you and who never did any harm, made your life better, like was there for you every step of the way.
Yes, because the question is like, how did Day forgive August so easily, and then Mark like did not even do anything to him, and this is how he treated him. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know, it's interesting to me that you didn't watch the last like quarter of episode 12, Kess, because you actually did get August. He came back.
He did?
For like 5 seconds. He's playing badminton with with G and Mork and Day.
Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna go watch it now.
But no,
I don't remember.
The lamest thing ever. I'm sorry. It is this is like you know Stepford Wives, right? It's an American thing.
Yes.
Yeah. The last 15 minutes of this show is like Stepford Wives.
I've been having a very dark thought about the last 15 minutes that I will share with you both offline because it is so dark.
Cannot wait.
All right, so we switch back now again to our. What were we doing? Favorite characters.
Yes, I love the women. In the series. G and Pujai, I'm obsessed with them, and the mom is great. Although at the moment, Wi-Fi and password.
That's right. If we cut out the bits where she was basically imprisoning her son, she's a great character.
Yeah.
But if you put her next to Mork with his PTSD, fear of bad things happening to Dave, he's not around, he's not there, he doesn't answer his call, like whatever, all of these things, and you put in perspective with her history where like they were starving and they had, you know, like no food, and they were on the streets, and then like this bad thing happened today, and now she's afraid that like if she's not there and she's not feeding him, bad things are going to happen. Like there are parallels between their stories for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plus
honestly,
they both
I could talk for 15 minutes about every single side character that got more than 5 minutes of screen time. I love all of them. I've never had that happen in a show before, ever. Even in Dangerous Romance, which I adore, I have plenty of characters that I was like totally neutral about. But I like genuinely love wholeheartedly every character that got given some time. And all the women. We haven't talked about Knight like at all on this podcast somehow, but I really love Knight and his story. And
yeah, I think my favorite characters probably would be Pierre and his wife, and Porget and Knight.
Mm-hmm.
The characters that I didn't want to be there, the father, I don't think he needed to be in the story at all.
Nah, he was like I feel like our random dad or whatever it was, whatever we called him, like thing was very accurate. And I saw a post on, I don't know if it was on Twitter or Tumblr, where someone was talking about his speech at the wedding, and it was like he could have sent an email, or he should have sent an email or something. And I laughed for like 5, considering I was extremely upset and extremely traumatized and extremely bitter. I laughed for like 5 minutes straight. I was like, this is the best thing ever.
But there are so many characters like that don't get a lot of screen time, but I still remember them. For example, the policeman, like the way he talked to Mok, someone will give you a chance, just keep trying, in episode 1. And then the guy with the garage, I love him, he's amazing. Plus beyond his wife, the guy that gave Mok the job, good for giving him a chance. And the woman with the motel in the woods, or like by the mountain.
Oh yeah, she
Very
was a great
nice.
character.
So many characters, so many characters that did not have a lot of screen time, but they're good people. Like it's like they met good people. And it's like they had to, as Mark was saying, as Mark realized in episode 2, it took a lot of courage to step into the world, being blind, and because you kind of have to trust people. And I feel like they tried to like have a hopeful message here, including a lot of good people in the story. And if you think about it, most people are good. Most people don't want anything bad for you to happen. Most people would help, but it's scary to trust people that you don't know. And I like the fact that they include a lot of good people in this story.
We introduced all these characters. Obviously, we all love Pierre and his wife, and Porget and Knight, and that. Was there like one of their moments that really stood out to you the most?
I think when they run into G for the first time, I think that's really stuck with me. Because, and I've talked to you both about the difference in how she reacts and how August reacts, where she is a little bit angry, and I think rightfully, like he totally cut her out of his life, and she's confused. I think film knocks that scene out of the water, and then it's this really nice look that he did have someone who cared about him so much from before he went blind, and that you realize extremely quickly how bereft he's been not having her, that she is a true friend.
Yeah, and she's like his Porget.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably the moments with Baon in episode 2. All the moments with him. The way he just appears, and the first thing that he says is, "Hi, I'm Baon. I am blind." Like for Day, it took so long for him to be able to come out into the world without shame because of his condition. But Baon would just wear it like not even like a shield, but just something to
badge of honor.
Like he broke the ice first in a way. Like he just, yeah, this is it. This is happening. It's okay. It's fine. You know, we can get over this. We can work with this.
He's taking the
And
stigma out.
yes, the way he talked with Day and being like, I know it's hard to be around people who can see, and the way he helped Mock understand Day more
I feel like he was a really
in their
important
conversation.
character for the
He
representation
was.
in this show.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
It's
Maybe
funny.
he even was the most important character.
Yeah. And I mean, in Day's defense, once again, in this scene, in this part, you were talking about like how different their thing that their I guess their confidence, I guess is the word I'm looking for, maybe in this is, and how unashamed and just like, this is who I am, take it or leave it, Paon is. We don't know like how long Paon was blind as well, so we don't know how long it took him to get to that place, but he's a really great character. In actual fact, my best side character moment is their wedding, him and her wedding, and the whole speech that they have, and I just love that scene. That's probably my favorite best side character moment.
I also really love the moment when Knight, I realize, is watching from afar, like a psycho, I think is what I calls him. He just wants to, he's so proud of Day and wants to document his running this race, but he
yeah, that was really cute.
Yeah. And I think her seeing him be kind of a loser is actually why she was able to fall in love with him. So I really love them like watching and interacting and taking pictures together.
Well, because she got to see who he really was, which is all he really needed. Was he just needed one person to see that he wasn't the villain, or that he wasn't the spare, like the spare kid, you know, like he was there and he was, you know, worth loving.
So, what do I say? Would you recommend this series to someone else?
Look, I'm conflicted about if I would, because I mean, it's funny, we had here about, is it good, is it worth rewatching? I feel like we touched the rewatching thing. Would I recommend it to somebody else? Not at this moment in time, and the main reason for that is because I still don't really 100% know about how I feel about it myself. Like I know I'm angry, I know I'm disappointed, I know that there are things that like I have an issue with now that maybe in time I'll let go of. Like, as I said, initially when we first watched it, I was quite upset about them giving him his eyesight back for a bunch of different reasons. Not because they gave him his eyesight back. Like, of course, if that is ever the option, of course you want that. But I was afraid of what people who don't have that option would take from that message, and things like that. But I let that go because that's not my thing. But these other factors that go along with that, that change the story, that change the character development. I'm not sure. There's a couple of big ones. I'm not, mainly the complete disregard for Mork's character and his trauma that I'm not sure I can ever get past. Could I rewatch it myself and enjoy it? I hope so. As I said, when I think about not rewatching it, it kind of makes me sad. But I feel like until I know exactly how I feel about this episode, not this episode, this series, I don't know that I would feel right like recommending it to somebody else. But it's interesting too because like my mum watched it and she liked it, but then she was watching it from a completely different perspective to me, I think. And so, you know, maybe someone, I would recommend it to them, they would enjoy it based on just the most surface of level of things. But there are so many things. Like I forgot there was something else. Maybe we were talking about the message and stuff earlier. Their journey in the episode where they go to the mountain and they visit that temple and they go their separate ways, where they walk through together. So they walk together and then they meet together in the middle. To me, this is one of the most devastating moments in the show for me now, because Mork was walking alone the whole time. That's the message I'm left with. Like, you know, you asked me what message did I get from this? That is the message I got, is that Mork was walking alone. He thought he was working with Day. He wanted nothing more than to walk with Day, like, and have this, be on this journey with him. But in actual fact, he was walking on his own. That's the message I took from it. And I feel like, you know, Day not being able to see more, for me, became less about him being blind and more about him being selfish. And until I can get past that, I don't know that I would recommend it to somebody else. That's my take. I don't think it was a bad show. I think that probably I've seen a lot of people online really, really enjoyed it. So, and as I said, I know my mum liked it. So it definitely has merits. As we talked about earlier, it opened a lot of conversation. We had so much fun with this show until we didn't, essentially. And so, like, it's I have such mixed feelings about it. But until I can come to grips myself with how I feel about it, I feel it would be irresponsible of me to recommend it to somebody else. Like, for example, I would not have pushed Kess to watch it if I knew how it ended. Except I feel like I'm a winner because you found a newfound love for Jimmy. So I feel like everybody won. But but yeah, so I don't know. What about you guys?
I am, as I said, I'm rewatching it with my friend. We started it when episode 12 was not out yet. So so right now, he knows my reaction to episode 12. He knows how upset I was, but he doesn't know why. I did not tell him anything, and I'm not interfering with his process. I'm just asking questions, and then I'm ranting to you guys about Day and about the way he makes me feel now. But I'm sure we're going to get to episode 9. This is the plan, but I'm not really sure we're going to watch more of it. Like, we kind of agreed that we'll see. Maybe we'll go and just check some of their cute moments from later, because they're like, for example, the confession scene. There are some moments from episode 10, right?
The scene,
But
as I said, that I love, where he goes to see Day once he's got Rung's car, is from
yeah,
And
episode
they have
10.
a really sweet
but
dinner
other than
date.
that,
Oh yes, the
but
dinner
yeah,
date.
but other than that, I don't know. I'm not sure we're going to watch the last 3 episodes.
If he wants to watch it, he might be on his own, is what you're telling us. Here's a
It
question.
depends, though. Yeah.
Here's a question then. So you started watching this, you recommended this before we'd seen episode 12, and so now you're kind of committed. But would you recommend it to someone else now that you know what happens in episode 12?
I would probably recommend it, but I would let them know that I don't like the way it ends, that it's worth watching until episode 9, and then they kind of ruin the story.
Okay.
Because it is worth watching until episode 9. It is.
It is.
It still is. Like, they're going to have the same experience that we did.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And I feel like it's a crime not for people not to see, like, the acting and that in this show.
Yeah.
What about you, Kev?
So I'll probably tell them, watch
sorry.
episode 9, watch 9 episodes, but if you decide to go further, like, just know that it's possible that it will ruin the show for you. So
Or
proceed
at least break
with
your
caution.
heart. It might
Proceed
break your
with
heart.
caution. Yes.
Yeah, I have kind of two similar thoughts, and one is I'm very frustrated with what I've seen happening a lot on Tumblr of people just being like, this show is absolute garbage and like shouldn't be watched, and it's a reaction to them feeling like a show didn't handle blindness how they wanted, didn't handle income inequality like they wanted, and they just like completely, this is partially a reaction to Dangerous Romance too, like write off the entire show. And like, that's not how I consume media and how I talk about it. And I wish more people would, when sharing reactions to shows or recommendations to shows, would really try to do both. Like, there's things I really loved. Here's what they are. Here's a few things that I found frustrating. I think that's how you should talk about media most of the time. And every once in a while, you're going to have something that is absolutely almost perfect in your mind and you have nothing critical to say. But most things I think fall in the middle where you have both. So that's kind of like thought one. And thought two is, at least for me, like, I have several shows I recommend to people where I'm like, I literally only watch the side couple pairing. I don't watch the main couple pairing. Like, the side couple is absolutely wonderful. And I think sometimes you can recommend things and be like, only watch through episode 9. It's absolutely amazing. Or only watch the side couple. And that's okay. And like sometimes that can be a really fun watching and experience for someone. I don't think you have to feel pressured to love every minute of something to recommend it. Maybe
Mhm.
just being honest with the people you're telling to watch, like how you would handle that.
Attach a caveat to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, a safety warning. A trigger warning. I mean, the problem
Yeah.
is maybe it's just I know most of my friends that I would recommend shows to would completely disregard me and be like, I'm gonna see what she's complaining about and watch the whole thing, and then I would have to listen to them have mental breakdowns about it. But yeah, I think I agree with both of you. I mean, Kess, you bring up a really interesting point about, and I feel like Morella and I, and to you your point too, because I know you're quite active on Tumblr and also like now with us here and stuff. Is we also like I kept talking earlier about how I feel like GMM and PA off and all that had a responsibility when they made this show, when they took on certain things to um have, you know, take responsibility for certain things that they put in the show and how they handled them and stuff like that. And to a certain extent I feel like as a reactor, as someone who is doing critical discussions and stuff like that, and as you're saying, like people online who are you know, telling their opinions or like whatever, there is a responsibility to that. I feel like you have to be able to own what you're saying. So like it's fine, I think, if you're going to go on and say I don't like this, but you shouldn't say it's like the biggest piece of crap, no one should ever watch it or whatever, like unless you can back up your words, unless, and most things are subjective anyway, like as I said, a lot of the issues that I have with this show come from my medical background and my knowledge that I have, and that's why they sit wrong with me. But like if I didn't have that, would it bother me in the same way? Probably not. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like it did bother me because I felt like the story was going somewhere, but it went in a different way, even without the eye donation
Oh
thing.
yeah, no, I mean there's still that, but I mean like in terms of like that part of the storyline, like a lot of the things that really bugged me, like was the whole, you know, completely blind thing, the this, the that, like those things.
Yeah, yeah.
If I didn't know about them, they wouldn't bother me, you know. So
But
it's
I
like,
feel like even I have this idea because I've been talking to you, and you kept informing me about how things work with
yeah,
the
and I was probably
transplants.
quite
Yeah.
negative as well. So like that also I feel like maybe was impactful. I don't know, but I feel like now I'm thinking about it. I just think that I feel like it's okay to go on and be like, I didn't like it. And here are the reasons why. But like just to say something is dumb because you didn't like it is, you know what I mean? Like this was not a dumb show. This was not a bad show. This was not it was not a mistake to watch this show because if nothing else, we got a lot of joy out of it. We got there was so much. There were a lot of things. We really enjoyed it. There was great music.
It
We
was
made Kess like
inspiring and
Jimmy.
yeah.
Like there were so many things, the good things that came out of this show. It is definitely not a bad show. It just is a show that has a not a great ending that I don't like, me personally, and I own that. But like, you know, there are definitely holes in the narrative, and there are definitely things that they put in and they never addressed, and they are big glaring things. But that's not going to bother everybody. You know, I mean, I've had
Yes.
conversations with people about stuff and I'm like, oh, I can't believe they didn't, you know, do blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, I don't even remember that, you know, and it's like, oh, frustrating, you know, but it was something I fixated on for years and this person didn't even notice it. So, like, I don't know, maybe it's a subjective thing.
Yeah, I think we talked about this perspective about this about the watching experience being different for people in our last podcast.
Hmm.
Like we knew some people would like this and some people wouldn't, and it depended on the way you are watching the show. Like lately I've been noticing since we've been doing this podcast, I'm watching things differently.
Yeah.
I'm watching series and movies and everything a bit differently.
We pay more
I
attention to
cannot
stuff.
just, yeah. Yeah, I cannot just relax and watch in a superficial way. I must think about, oh, look, this character says this, and then that does that, and then there's a theme, and then there's motif, and then there's something there. And it doesn't always have meaning, and sometimes you get disappointing if it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. But
It's so funny. I was watching something the other day and I like literally picked up a pen to write a note about something that happened that I was like, oh, I must talk about this. And I was like, this isn't for the podcast. I'm like, what are you doing, you big giant weirdo? Put the pen down. But yeah.
put the pen down, pick up the phone, and record the message and send it to me.
I think I did, like, I can't remember what it was now, but I think I did leave a rambling message for you guys or something somewhere about like, oh, I just saw
Good
this
job.
thing and it made me think of this, and then I probably spent 10 minutes talking about, like, I don't know, nails or something.
Oh, another thing that this series did was create communities of people. We met people, right? So it's great. There are good things, and I'm thankful for to the people that participated in creating this series. I'm glad it exists.
I really like, and there was a lot of things that they showed us in this that I had no idea about. As I said, I've worked in the industry, I've worked with blind clients before and stuff like that, and I didn't know anything about the paint with the scents, and like there was so many cool things that they introduced in this that I had no idea about. And so in that respect, they did some really amazing work. I really will say that they did do some really amazing work. I just wish that the people that were doing that wrote the last episode.
So are you going to talk about the post that you're planning to?
Oh yes, I completely forgot about it. So I am one of these people who, when I get into something, whether it's a book or a show or something like that, you know, you're getting into the characters, you're absorbing their like nuances and their like little weird idiosyncrasies and stuff, and every song you're listening to suddenly becomes their perfect love song or their like traumatic love song, or it just reminds me of these characters. And the last couple of shows we've created playlists and stuff. I listen to music organically in that I find it in things, in books, in music, or shows, whatever. So Morella created a playlist. I feel like I should call Morella out now. Kess, should I call Morella out now? Because who created this playlist and went, you guys haven't added anything, but she hadn't given us access to add it. And then she was like, I totally did.
When I created it, the day that I created it, I sent both of you the link to be able to edit it, and then neither of you joined, and it expired, and then you accused me of not sending you the link.
I don't even remember.
No, Morella, you sent the link to the playlist because I opened it and I added it to my library. I took action on the link you sent, and then weeks later went to add a song and did not have editing permission. You are incorrect.
I never even saw it.
Do not
so
agree.
like it was probably one of the like 300 messages that I wake up to, and I just missed that one. But yeah, I don't know. So but anyway, basically what we're trying to get out here is that we created a playlist, and this prompted me to think about music I was listening to and stuff like that. And I came across this kind of indie singer-songwriter that I don't know how well known they are, but I'd never heard of them before and became obsessed with a bunch of their songs. And two of them in particular drive me crazy. They're inflating my morgue feels up the wazoo. I came across another artist and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Are there any songs, guys, that really resonated for you for this show? So both Morella and Kess have given me some song recommendations and like why they fit and things like that. So I'm going to do a post. It'll probably get posted after this episode is up on Spotify and has been linked. I'll also do the post with our little recommendations. So if that interests you, you'll be able to check those out. But one of the things that I really wanted to mention is the last Twilight song from like the soundtrack song, the main track from this show is amazing, as is all the music from this show. The person who sang the original is fantastic, but there was a cover done by someone called, I'm totally gonna butcher the surname. Do you want to say it, Kess?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
throw someone else under the bus.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, because she gave it to me, so I thought she may have known. I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna say it, and I apologize profusely if I pronounce it wrong, but Gadash, I don't know, has done a English cover which is on YouTube of the last Twilight song, and this song is heartbreakingly beautiful. Like I encourage you guys who love the Thai version to go and check this out and just get the English lyrics for this song are, as I said, heartbreakingly beautiful. I think Kess will back me up on that. Yes.
I think I've listened to it 100 times.
Yeah, and this cover, like this person has done an amazing job. Like everybody should go and listen to this. Everybody should go and like it, and just So I'm gonna link that in the post as well, because I feel like it's really nice. Like this is obviously this person loved. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they haven't even watched the show. I don't know, but maybe they did, and this is their way of contributing to the fandom and to just it's just a really, really pretty rendition of the song, and I feel like it needs more listeners.
So I guess this is it.
This is it, unless Kess has anything else she would like to add.
No, thank you for having me. It's been very fun once again to talk with you both.
Do you want to tell everybody how much you love Jimmy?
I feel the need to actually, I'm going to defend myself very quickly that yes, I hated Jimmy. And the reason I'm realizing in retrospect is because he is such a good actor and he did so good as Y and Bad Buddy that I hated the sight of his face. And it was very irrational, but now I love him. And it has totally changed how I watch Bad Buddy.
Yeah, well. It's so funny. The messages I was getting, I'm expecting some more Bad Buddy messages too from you, by the way. That like when you were rewatching, you're just like, now when I'm seeing why, I'm like so emotional. Yeah, he's very, very good at what he does, Jimmy.
Thank you, Kess, for joining us. It's been very fun, a lot of fun. Thank you for listening to the podcast, even though you did not watch the episode.
I know, right?
Such a long time. And thank you for trusting us.
Are we?
Thank you for trusting us and deciding to watch it. And I'm glad that you're saying you don't regret watching this. Yes.
I actually think I came out loving the show the most of the three of us, based on my read of how we all now feel.
Yeah,
which would be interesting.
I think the problem with me is I still don't 100% know how I feel, because I feel today I feel not completely different, but I feel very differently than how I felt last Friday. So
all I know is I've never cried so much or so often or for so long over media in my entire life. It just touched me in this deep place over and over and over again.
Yeah,
you had a very, very weird watching experience. You heard us speak about it, and then you watched it, and then you listened to us speak about it again, and then you watched again and you talked to us. So it's I don't think anyone can understand what you've been through. It's very unique.
Yeah, and so now all I have to add to that is that you need to hurry up and watch Cooking Crush so that you can join us when we do our Let's Talk Cooking Crush in a month or so.
I'm watching episode 1 tonight.
Really? I'm so excited.
This is it.
Thank
you for hanging out with us. Follow Kess on Tumblr. Kess.
Oh my gosh. What is my username? It's Kess in the Perth Chim Zone, which I feel like no one is going to be able to spell phonetically, but I'm sure we can drop it in the show notes or something.
I will definitely yes, we'll put it in the podcast notes, but also when I do the post for the music stuff, when I include your recommendation, I'll add your user ID in there as well, so people can follow you if they'd like to.
I only talk about one thing, so it can't be that interesting.
I don't know, you talked about a lot tonight. As long as that one thing's not August, we're all good. Isn't that right, people?
Follow us on Spotify, on Tumblr, on Twitter, on Critically OBS. Send us a message, interact with us. Goodbye for now.
Yes, thanks for spending your time with us. Bye.
Bye.